Hi there, Awesome Joe here. If you guys are a big fan of Groundhog's Day or Edge of Tomorrow, or if you're into a great horror slasher flick, then you would love these two in particular films that I would love to talk about here with you guys today, which is Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You. I just finished watching Happy Death Day to You several days ago, and I know that it's been a little while after, and I know a lot of people have gone out to see it, and as have I, but it's been a little bit complicated here for me for having to do my review over that film because I've obviously, as you can tell, I'm working right now, and I've been working for the last couple of days here, which have been taking a lot of bit of my time in having to develop my review videos. So, hi, I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to having to watch one of my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration to me for having to do one of my great and personal hobbies, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So let's get it started here, y'all, with the first film I would love to discuss with you guys here today, Happy Death Day. Right, so Happy Death Day was released, I think it was, September 2017, and I remember when I first caught the trailer to this film, I thought it was spectacular. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a really great, unique, special idea, a new, different direction into introducing, to bringing back the world of horror slasher genre. And so I was really excited for this film. I really wanted to go and watch it. I'm not very, I'm not a big fan of horror flicks. Only the, in particular, classics like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Chucky, so on and so forth. I like those. I'm not a big fan of demonic flicks. Those are not really my favorites. I'm not really into those. So that's what really brought Happy Death Day as of a big interest to me. But not only that, having the idea of having to repeat the same day over and over again, just like Groundhog's Day and Edge of Tomorrow, which are two of my great films that I really do love to watch, regarded towards the idea of having to repeat the day over and over again, which I find it to be so amazing. It's so entertaining. And this movie, not only is it just related to sci-fi slash horror, but it's also a bit of a comedy to me also. You know, there's some funny moments within the movie that pretty much take you out of the horror sci-fi genre, but it's not in a terrible position. It actually adds a little bit more of a bonus to the movie. So this movie is directed by Christopher Landon, and this movie stars Jessica Rothe, who plays the character Tree. And I find Jessica Rothe to be a brilliant actress in this movie. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't even know who Jessica Rothe was at first, and I actually thought it was a different actress that was playing this character, because I really had no idea. She kind of has a little bit of a Natalie Portman or a oh my God, what is her name? I forgot her name. But yeah, it's just she looked like a different actress to me, and that's who I thought it was. But no, it was this other actress, Jessica Rothe, and I find her to be such a brilliant actress, throwing out an excellent performance in this movie. She does a lot of good impersonations within this movie, and I just find it to be very very talented, and gave the movie a huge plus. But it's her birthday, and she is this very, very disrespectful character to many of the other characters throughout the movie. And she has very in particular reasons, and she's very disrespectful from the moment she wakes up throughout her entire day, all the way until the moment at night when she gets killed by a black hooded figure with a baby face mask, which happens to be the mascot of their college team. So, and I think that the baby face is really, really creepy creepy. I mean, if I saw that right in front of my face, I mean, I would be creeped out of my mind. It's a little bit of a resemblance to Ghostface from the Scream movies, and I found it to be very, very fascinating because I love a little mystery horror movie. Having to find out who the killer is towards the ending of the movie. So I found that to be very, very fun. And so she starts off each and every single one of her days after when she gets killed, having to restart the day over with a character named Carter, played by Israel Broussard. So excuse my pronunciation here. I'm very terrible at that. And who happens to be the love interest to her within the movie. She grows a certain in particular love towards him throughout every single day that she tries to figure out who the killer is, as to who it is and why is this person after her. And there's several different other characters within this movie. We got Lori, which is played by Ruby Modine, and then we got Gregory, played by Charles Atkin, and Danielle, played by Rachel Matthews, and Ryan, played by Fee View. I think that's how you. Like I said, my pronunciation here is terrible. But it's just so unique. It's so awesome. I had an incredible, awesome time with this movie, and I think that the reveal of the killer towards the ending is by far so amazing. I had an excellent time having to see who the reveal is, and it's always fun having to try and point out as to who you think the killer is throughout the movie, and it gives you several ideas, several clues as to who you think it might be. But then at the very end, they always get you to where you get that reveal, and you're just like, oh, I never even thought of that. So it was fantastic. It was so amazing. I love the ending to the whole thing. And I just find it to be very fascinating. So Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 71%, and for me, I'm kind of around the same range of giving it a 79%, because not only does this film have a lot of genres mixed in together and having it to being such an entertaining film, but I found several errors to the movie that really didn't bring me into the film of having to like it so much. Like, say for example, some of her kills are basically suicidals, and I think that it would have been a lot more comforting if she were to have gotten killed many times in several different ways by the same killer. So I think that would have been a lot more entertaining and a lot more satisfying, because it is a horror slasher flick. It's by Blumhouse, and Blumhouse has a habit of having to do scary films, and I think that that's what they should have stuck with, is having to be more of a horror film. And like I said, I didn't have any problem with the comedy genre. I was just wanting to see more horror. I wanted to jump out of my chair. I wanted to say, this person is behind you, the killer's behind you, turn around, So those are the moments that I highly enjoy so much. So like I said, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 71%. For me, I gave it a 79%. What do you guys think about Happy Death Day? Did you guys go to the theaters and watch this movie when it was first released back in 2017? What did you guys think? Leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards this flick. But for now, let's go ahead and jump on to the next film that I'd love to discuss here with you guys, which is the sequel to this film, Happy Death Day to You. Alright, so Happy Death Day to You was released several days ago, February 13th, the day before Valentine's Day, and I was really excited at having to watch this. To be honest with you, I went ahead and watched. I didn't even know that this movie even existed. I didn't know it was coming out. I didn't even know that it wasn't even in production. I didn't know that there was an idea or a decision for there to be a sequel, because I didn't think that there was anything further to go along with the story. And the way I look at it is that when I went to go watch the movie Halloween, the newly released Halloween, back in October of 2018, the preview popped out for Happy Death Day to You before the movie started, and I was just like, What? I actually love that. I love the you know, it just brought me back to before the internet was created. I mean, it was just so exciting, and having to see the first time of a trailer in the theaters. I missed that, and just having to watch the trailer. I remember the excitement that I had when I watched it, and I was just like, yes, this is great. This is awesome. This is fantastic. I can't wait to watch this. I mean, I grew overly excited to wanting to watch this movie, and I was just waiting for it. And when it came out, I could not even bear the type of excitement that I had for it, because I mean, I enjoyed the first film. It was great. It was fun, and I was very, very looking forward to seeing what they had in store for what was to come up next. And this movie is still directed by the same director from the first film, Christopher Landon, and of course Jessica Rothe coming back into this. Oh my God. She is just so fantastic in not just the first film, but in this one as well. She is one of the many pluses, and I'm very, very highly excited to see what she has in store for us in the future with her career and having to becoming this great and incredible actress. I think that she did fantastic. And everybody comes back, you know, Israel, Brosnan, Carter, Laurie, Gregory, Daniel, Ryan, Stephanie, so on and so forth. Everybody comes back, but the problem, it's not a problem, but it was a speculation, trying to figure out as to what it was exactly that this movie had in store for us. What was it? But having to judge by the previews itself, I could tell that this movie was taking a different direction. I didn't know what direction it was taking it towards, but I really did enjoy having to see that it's not the same killer from what we know based off of the marketings for this film. And it's dealing with a different storyline, but involving the same situation. The character Tree is brought back to the same birthday that she was experiencing over and over again, and she is freaking out. Her mind is being blown here. She has no idea what it is that's happening and why she's back to where she's back at. And I find it to have been so interesting, so entertaining, wanting to watch over and over and over again. If you guys have not watched Happy Death Day to You yet, please pause this video, jump onto the theater, watch the flick, come back to this video and watch what I'm about to say, because right now I am going to spoil it for you guys. So here's my spoiler alert here for you guys, and once the spoiler alert is gone, you guys can go ahead and jump on to what I'm about to say next after that. So spoiler alert here, you guys. Anyways, Happy Death Day to You is not taking place within the same universe as ours. It's actually a multiverse. This is not the same movie that we remember from the first film. It's completely different. It's taking us to a different dimension. The character Ryan, played by Phi Vu, like I said, my pronunciation is terrible. He had a very minor role in the first film, but we get a little bit of a reveal as to what type of character that he is in this film, because there was a question mark that popped in my head during the first film, is why is Tree going through this experience over and over again? What is it? What makes her so special and having to go through this day over and over? What is it exactly that's causing her? You would think it was a phenomenal excuse, you know, maybe the passing of her mother, having to share the same birthday together, her, you know, giving her daughter that second chance and having to live a life of a different life, being a completely different person, having to find the love and careness within her heart, and having to being this better person rather than having to be this very disrespectful, arrogant person. So that's what I got out of it, but instead it turned out to be more of a scientific, dimensional type of thing. The character Ryan and a set of new characters within this movie are to develop this device called, I think it was called Ceci, and it's just this big round dimensional ball. And there was remember the power outages that were happening within the first film? Well, it was caused because of that. It was caused because of that, which is what brought Tree into the same day over and over and over again. And so I thought that was great, and having to reveal the explanation as to why it was happening, for that to happen, because it was a big question mark. This movie does reveal some of the questions that were not answered within the first film. So yes, there was some more to the story that needed to be explained. And but not only within this dimension, she does not have the love interest in this movie, Carter, who is now in a relationship with her frenemy, who happens to be her best friend in this dimension, which is what's her name? I think it was Danielle. So she doesn't have her boyfriend anymore, but she does have her passed away mother in this dimension. So she's alive, she never died, and so it puts her through this ultimatum as to figuring out, because she throughout every single day she tries to find every different math algorithm into finding out how she could get herself back into her own dimension. And so she's put into the ultimatum as to whether or not, if she stays in this new dimension to having her alive mother back into her life and lose her boyfriend, or go back to her own dimension to where she did lose her mother but has her boyfriend with her. So she was put through the ultimatum, but she wanted to stay in that one to keep her mother. She made the sacrifice of losing her love interest to keep her mother. But then she is put, this is what makes her such a great actress, because there are several sequences within the film that puts her into a, this dramatic sequence where she's crying, where she's revealing her true feelings. She's put into this chance of having to say goodbye to her mother, the chance that she did not have in her own dimension. So I found that to be very, very exciting, so entertaining. So I thought that the movie was really, really awesome. I thought it was really great to watch. But here's the thing. Throughout every single explanation that I've been talking about, not once have I mentioned about the killer. Oh yeah, that's right. There's a killer in this movie. Did not even get to mention it, not even once. But that's because the killer is rarely even in this. This has nothing to do with the killer. The killer is actually involving with another character in this movie. It has nothing to do with Tree. And I think that was a big minus for me, because I did love the horror within the first film, and I was very much expecting to see more of that within this one. And I don't want to reveal who the killer is, but I found the reveal of the killer in this movie to be highly disappointing. I was not satisfied with this killer at all. I did not like it. I just, and like I said, I know that this is a spoiler, but I honestly don't want to reveal the killer, because it's not really worth it. It's not really anything significantly part of this film. I know that there was a sequence within this movie that revealed the killer early on in the movie, but was actually a same character from, it's two different characters within the same dimension. So, and it got me to thinking, like, okay, well, Tree keeps dying, she's committing suicide, but yet we don't see the killer. So, like, I'm trying to figure this out here. Is like, I thought it would have been a lot more interesting if, figure this out with me here. If Tree was so jealous of Carter being the boyfriend to Danielle's character instead of her, I thought that she would be, very, very jealous enough to where she was the killer. She ends up putting on the baby face mask and the black hoodie and becoming the killer in that dimension. I thought that would have been an even more incredible reveal. I thought that would have been so awesome, but instead it ends up to being something else with no significant importance to the story. I found it to be highly disappointing for me. So that part in general, I just say that it brought a big minus to the movie. And I also say that the ending, like the very, very ending, once it hits black and hits the credits, I thought that was just, you just finished doing what you were doing, and then all of a sudden, boom, over. I'm like, okay, I guess we're done with that. And then, of course, there has to be a mid-end credit sequence happening, a scene happening. And you're just like, wow, they're actually going Marvel with this. Okay, I guess this really picked it up a notch. I gave it a plus for having to being more to the film. You know, I don't know how to not spoil this, but spoil this for you. But it just takes it to a whole other different direction that makes it even more bigger than what it was from what we remember from the first movie. And I just I didn't like it, honestly. I didn't like it. It was a little bit similar to the ending to the last year's The Predator. The ending to it. It just got a little bit too scientific. It got a little bit too big. I liked it a little bit more to where everything was just, you know, small, you know, just one area, not making it this big gigantic thing. But they do open it up for having there to be, if this movie is to be successful enough for them to develop a third film. To which I don't think that they should. I mean, if they do, I would look forward to it. I would go and watch it. I mean, I really would. But I really don't care to watch the third film if there ever is to be one. But like I said, I will go and watch it. But it was fun. It was great. The first film had a little bit of a resemblance towards Groundhog's Day, and this one, even though it does have some Groundhog Day resemblance to it, they also included some Back to the Future Easter eggs into this movie. So it was really cool. It was really great. It was like one of those, you know, butterfly effects. If you change one little thing, you change the whole entire thing. So that was unexpected. It was really not brought up within the marketing, the trailers, the TV spots, so on and so forth. It was pretty much just luring it towards, you know, babyface black hoodie guy killer, but really wasn't even part of the movie. So spoiler alert is off. So Rotten Tomatoes gave this movie a 66%, which I don't think is at all of a surprise to me, because for me, I actually gave it a 53%. Like I said, I liked it, but there were a lot of things that I hated about this movie more than I hated about the first film. So it's just an entertaining movie. It is unique. It is different. And like I said, I'm not looking forward to seeing what else they have in store for us in the future. But in which cases, if there is, I will go ahead and watch it. I mean, it's that good, it's that bad all at the same time. So that's my review for Happy Death Day to you. What do you guys think? You guys can always leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and let's have an awesome conversation about it, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to having to watch one of my videos. You guys are such a huge inspiration to me for having to do my great and personal hobby, because I love to talk about movies, but more importantly, I love to talk about them with you. And don't forget to like and subscribe on both my Facebook and YouTube pages. And if you have any questions, comments, complaints, or concerns, please leave it on the section on the bottom there, and let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards this movie or any movies that you would like to talk about in general. So I'm Awesome Joe, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks guys so much, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to having to watch one of my videos. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to having to watch one of my videos. So I'm Awesome Joe. Thank you guys so much for taking in the time of your day to having to watch one of my videos.